Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of DGS. We have just finished talking to every single juror on the stand right now, and now we are going to clash a couple of them together. Let's start with juror 2 with juror number 6. Those two claims completely contradict each other. What? Explain, defense.
Contradiction? Me?
Contradiction.
You're misunderstanding in a major way, number 6.
Misunderstanding?
As number 2 just stated, when those brothers fled the pawn shop, they fired a round from the pistol they were carrying.
And that bullet ended up taking out the famous detective Master Holmes.
There's no way you could have missed that.
Bullet.
Number 6?
Pardon. English still is difficult for me.
Don't tell me you really did miss it. Oh my god. How is this guy a juror?
Pardon. Perhaps I missed.
His mouse is cute though. Eh?
I found. Bullet. Let's see. But guys shoot bullet. Why didn't you say this to me? I am Russian, you see.
Who was it? Who chose this guy as a juror? Me? Y'all want to know this too?
In other words, those two evil-looking brothers told lie. They say they did nothing. They shot someone?
That's right.
Oh, lies are bad, especially from people who look evil.
I'm pretty sure this has nothing to do with looks.
Then perhaps we steal nothing. This may also be a lie. Is this what you are telling me?
Well, according to the Yard's investigation, it seems that nothing was stolen.
I can't trust anyone anymore.
That poor mouse! You've been squeezing that mouse pretty hard.
I must be sure. With my own eyes.
But, unfortunately, that's likely not possible.
Nah, I think we can, and quite simply.
Huh?
With Holmesy's automatic crime recording apparatus.
Oh.
If we compare the photo with Genie in it and the next photo that comes after that, we'd know right away whether something was stolen or not. Isn't that right, Mr. Prosecutor?
Dear Lord, calling out to the prosecutor in the midst of a final appeal. The moment that the defendant broke into the shop and began menacing the shopkeeper is shown in this photo. After this, the defendant and the victim moved to the storeroom. Then the Templar brothers broke in and heard the single gunshot. Unfortunately, that moment doesn't seem to have been captured on film, but this is the photo that was taken after they made their escape.
This was after Holmesy was shot, wasn't it? As far as I can see, nothing appears to have been stolen.
She's right. I don't really see anything that stands out as having gone missing.
Then, evil-looking brothers lies. Only that they shot one man, but stole nothing?
That's what it would mean.
Good.
It's not good at all!
Anyway, It seems I misunderstood. I wish to hear little more of brother's story about after their lie.
Thanks, Mr. Russian man.
You did it, Naruhodo-kun! The scale moved a little!
So it starts with just one person, huh? I'm sure there are still facts we haven't seen yet. If we can just find one of those, the situation will change majorly.
Now then, let the final appeal continue. And for the sake of caution, the court will accept that photo into evidence.
Intershop photo, post-murder, taken by the automatic crime recording apparatus. Oh my god, that's such a mouthful! Appears to show the situation after the murder occurred. Another photo, huh? Maybe it'll be useful for something. I think he has a new statement. Yeah, he does.
Lies must be chased down and crushed. So for now, I vote not guilty.
That does it for their claims. If I can't get more than half of them to change their votes to not guilty, the trial is over.
Genie would never shoot anyone, not in a million years.
I'll find a contradiction in the jurors' claims and pit them against each other. I've got to find something I can use to convince them. Alright, I think we're going back to juror number 5. And we're going to, I think she was in the middle of something and we got interrupted by someone else talking, I believe. Alright, let's press. We're just gonna go right through this. Because she was talking about, communication through Telegram. And then she subtly, just passive-aggressively talked about stereoscopes, and that made someone really unhappy. She's so excited. There we go. Someone is unhappy! I know you're angry, but can I have a moment, number 3?
What do you want?
You seem like you have something you'd like to say about number 5's statement just now. I think I have a pretty good idea of what it'll be, though.
Well, allow me to speak my mind then. Yes! You there!
Ah, me?
That seems pretty obvious.
You think the stereoscope is a toy?
Of course it is. All it can do is show you photos in 3D. Everything around you is 3D. All you need to do is observe the scenery around you.
If you say that, it'll be all over.
But that's all it does. It's useless.
You don't understand! When you're looking at a photo in 3D, who knows what sort of amazing possibilities might be hiding? I'll show you!
The possibilities exposed by looking at a photo in 3D?
Let's use the crime scene photo as an example. If we can see that in 3D, a clue we haven't seen yet might come floating to the surface.
You can do that?
Do you have any photos we might be able to look at in 3D, Naruhodo-kun?
Oh, I do? I don't. We do. A photo we can see in 3D. Of course I do. Alright, let's present both these pictures now. Yeah. 1. In that case, 3. Can you really see photos in 3D?
Of course, Mr. Attorney.
In that case, I'll give this to you.
Looks good. Then
Alright, let's look at the
I'll need
post-murder
one more
photo.
photo.
I had a feeling that's where this was heading when we got another picture. Something tells me maybe we're gonna see something that shifted. And something may not be missing, but things may have moved. Both of these photos were taken by the same automatic crime recording apparatus.
That'll work. By the way, Mr. Attorney, the reason that 3D photos appear in 3D, do you know why?
I believe Iris taught us that yesterday. The right eye and left eye see at slightly different angles. The brain calibrates the slight differences in the images to produce a single image, and that image appears 3D, or something.
Quite right.
That means that the slight difference is what's important.
So, in other words, if we put two identical photos side by side,
Naturally, it wouldn't appear 3D.
Oh! I see! So that's what...
It looks like that young lady is onto something.
I found it, Naruhodo-kun!
her eyes are crossed! Why don't you start by uncrossing your eyes, Iris-chan?
Naruhodo-kun, try looking at Holmesy's photos one more time. There's something that's obviously different between these two photos, right?
Of course, whether those two are in it or not, right?
Yeah, you can tell that at first glance. Now then, let's look at it in 3D.
Alright, I'll give it a shot. I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to cross my eyes, and then the two photos will appear overlaid. I cross my eyes and focus on the quill right in the center of the photo. Thank you for telling us how to cross eyes and stuff. But yeah, there is definitely something have moved. It's up near the skull and the scale, if you noticed. There's...
How'd it go, Naruhodo-kun? Were you able to see it in 3D?
I couldn't see it, I could see it. I'm pretty sure it'll just tell you too if you just said I could see it. What the? These two photos. The items on the desk are floating. Hey, the judge! What the heck broke? Oh my god, that was like amazing flash of images there.
Yes, that's what I meant. This is just one of the other abilities that's stereopsis.
Other?
But what does this mean?
Everyone is cross-eyed.
Why is it only the items on the desk that are floating in that uncanny manner?
Well, if you think about the principles of stereopsis, you'll find your answer.
The principles of stereopsis.
I believe I said this earlier too, but if you put two identical photos side by side, they won't appear 3D. It's because of the difference between the two photos that they seem to be in 3D.
So, what you're saying is, the items on the desk appear at a glance to be unchanged, but there's actually just a tiny difference between them.
That's what it means.
Now, hold on just one moment. How shall I put this? I understand the trick that causes two photos to appear 3D. But then why on earth are these two photos only slightly different? You've got some explaining to do, Oriental Attorney.
Me? How should I know?
know, it's actually pretty simple.
Really?
Well, why don't we take it step by step? First, at 1 a.m., this photo was taken. Then, 30 minutes later, this photo was taken. And the items on the desk are slightly different in the two photos. Which would mean...
During that 30-minute interval, someone tampered with the items on the desk. Is that it?
But who?
Tampered with the items on the desk.
Such facts didn't appear in testimony.
So that's it. I feel like we came at it in a really roundabout way, but I think I finally understand what my goal for this final appeal should be. If that's true, then the next problem becomes clear. Who on earth tampered with the items on this desk?
Are you saying you know the answer?
Of course. The slight deviation in these two photos was caused by... you can present either Templar brothers and it'll be right, so... The witnesses we heard from earlier, the Templar brothers.
Please, wait. But earlier, men said this. By time we enter shop, murder already happened. We touch nothing in shop. You say this was also lie? Is that what you say?
Yes, that's what it would mean.
But that's not the only possibility.
That's right. That defendant, she's a pickpocket, right? Perhaps she was the one who made a mess of the desk.
No, I think that's fairly unlikely.
Why?
As you can see in this photo, the defendant is at the scene of the crime pointing a gun at the victim. Judging by what's going on here, she's likely urging him to open the storeroom door. That's what we can assume. In other words, the defendant's objective is to get into the storeroom. She has no need to mess with any of the items on the desk. In other words, those witnesses, the Templar brothers, are hiding something they have yet to testify about.
But the defendant is a pickpocket. She was obviously up to no good.
By the same line of reasoning, the Templar brothers are thieves. On the night of the murder, they may have been searching for something on the victim's desk. To say that the defendant is suspicious just because she's a pickpocket, we must thoroughly examine the testimony of these thief witnesses.
Quite right. I'd like to hear a bit more testimony from them after all. Ow!
What the heck, Doctor?
Do you all understand now? My stereopsis revealed an incredible possibility.
Oh, he's so happy.
I admit it, when this trial ends, I'll be hurrying out to Regent Street to purchase a stereoscope.
It seems that this trial is not over yet. That appears to be the jurors' conclusion at this time. The jurors' decisions have been altered as a result of that final appeal. 2 vote guilty and 4 vote not guilty. Therefore, the court is not in agreement at this juncture. And the trial must continue. You did it, Naruhodo-kun. That's right.
What is it, Iris-chan?
This is for you, Naruhodo-kun. You might end up needing it again.
I don't think I'll be using it again. Don't say that! You're gonna be using it again! Stereoscope. By peering into the peepholes, anyone can enjoy stereopsis, a floating type device.
Now then, Master Von Zeeks. The court requests further testimony from the previous witnesses.
It shall be done while this sweet fragrance still lingers in the air. I managed to get those witnesses resummoned. I won't let this trial end until I've managed to prove Gina-san's innocence. Okay. To be continued! We are continuing. We have about 9 minutes left on this video, I believe. So, yes, we are continuing. Not saving, of course, obviously. Just in case.
The trial will now continue. Witnesses, return to the stand.
Was that like the second save in the middle of this now? Oh, they're sweating bullets there.
Did you hear the final appeal that just occurred?
Yeah?
We heard.
Templar-san.
Yes?
Yes?
This is awkward. You previously testified to the following.
See, there was quite a commotion going on when we came in, yeah?
Forget the stealing anything. We didn't even have time to take our hands out of our pockets.
But that was a lie. Templar-san.
Yes?
Yes?
That evening, you searched through the items on the victim's desk.
We did nothing of the sort.
How did you know?
Maybe you two should have gotten your story straight there.
The court orders further testimony from you two about what occurred on the night of the murder, and this time, it better be the truth.
A single lie, when added to your existing mountain of crimes, would be significant. Ooh. And it may even end up costing you your lives. I'd advise you to keep that fact in mind.
Alright, we get it.
Talk.
Break in on the night of the murder.
We admit that we touched the stuff on the desk, but we weren't searching for anything.
Suddenly there was a gunshot, and I ended up shoving everything off the desk at full force.
It was terrifying, I tell you. We didn't know when the killer might come out from that door in the back.
We have straightened up the desk quickly, and as we are making our exit, we ran into you lot.
In other words, we had no opportunity to shoot the shopkeeper.
So you're admitting it then? The fact that on the night of the murder you made a mess of the desk.
We didn't make a mess of it.
That's right. Actually, we straightened it up. Clean as a whistle.
Okay. Brooke's like, none of this shit!
Alright already.
These men indeed broke into the shop while the murder was taking place. However, upon hearing the gunshot, they straightened everything up and fled.
There's something rather unvillainous about the way you put that.
Couldn't you have put a more evil-sounding twist on it?
It can't be just a coincidence that these two showed up at the scene of the crime that night. There must be more to this testimony. Is this one of the cases of we gotta press everything? I mean, I think on this thing it looks like we're pressing everything, but I'm like, is the guide gonna tell you to press everything? I don't know. Shrugs. Alright, let's do it. In that case, why didn't you mention that in your testimony from the beginning?
Look, we're, villains, right?
That's right. If a villain offers excess information, you lot will doubt them, we thought to ourselves.
That's exactly what we thought. It'd just be added to our list of crimes.
But in the end, because of that lie, your list of crimes is growing anyway.
Well,
I reckon that's a bad luck.
Yada yada. Witnesses, you will tell us why you made a mess of the items on the desk.
honestly, this guy is a jumpy little bugger.
That's right. Actually, we straightened them up. Clean as a whistle.
I don't think Baroque believes that in the slightest.
Alright, already.
I think we might have to stop in the middle of this, which is kind of unfortunate. In other words, that was because you were startled by the sudden gunshot. Is that right?
He let out a shriek like, "Hey!" His knees gave out with fear and he collapsed on the desk.
Give me a break. That sound was loud enough to wake an old lady from the dead.
The mountain of books went flying. The silver candle holder rolled away. And that skull that was sitting there clattered across the floor.
The French door lost its head, the picture frame fell over, and the holding plates on the scale fell onto the floor.
Sounds like quite the ordeal.
It was so loud, it could have made our easily undead old lady scramble right out of her grave in panic.
In any case, you were quite startled by the gunshot, weren't you?
Well, yeah, of course. It was suddenly bang, shattering the silence.
Ooh. I'm sorry, I just enjoyed this a lot. What up, Gregson? Is everything alright, Detective Gregson?
I already told you I'm not one of these screwy brothers.
That's not what I meant. Just now, you seemed like you were thinking about something that you heard when you heard the Templar's testimony. Was there something about it that bothered you?
Well, it might not be important. It's not significant enough to even notice. That was my impression from the start, but since cases are often solved by getting hung up on small details,
If you're that conflicted about it, maybe you could start by telling us about it?
yesterday, when these brothers were arrested, they were brought to this yard before questioning. The testimony they just gave was a little different from what they said then.
Oh, shit.
Huh? Is that so?
Once again, you two need to keep your story straight.
I'm sure you said that before. You said that before hearing the gunshot. You heard the victim scream, or...
Now that you mention it, maybe we did say that.
Well, I know it's a pretty small detail, but it could be that. I can't help wondering if maybe you were giving a half-baked testimony just now. If it is determined that this testimony is even more half-baked than it already has been, the court will have no choice but to persecute you to the full extent of its power.
No.
We'll give you the whole story.
I just remembered.
In that case, you would do well to add what you just remembered to your testimony.
Fine, sir.
Here comes the new testimony.
Just before the gunshots went off, we heard a scream. Give that gun here, it
Alright,
said.
we're gonna have to unfortunately stop through this testimony, which is unfortunate. I kind of lost track of the time. I was like, oh, right. I should stop here because we're almost out of time. Oh well, but mid-testimony, good times. So we'll continue this in the next video. I'll see you guys then. Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of DGS. We have just finished talking to every single juror on the stand right now, and now we are going to clash a couple of them together. Let's start with juror 2 with juror number 6. Those two claims completely contradict each other.
What? Explain, defense.
Contradiction? Me?
Contradiction.
You're misunderstanding in a major way, number 6.
Misunderstanding?
As number 2 just stated, when those brothers fled the pawn shop, they fired.
Nothing appears to have been stolen.
She's right. I don't really see anything that stands out as having gone missing.
Then, evil-looking brothers lies. Only that they shot one man, but stole nothing?
That's what it would mean.
Good.
It's not good at all!
Anyway, it seems I misunderstood. I wish to hear little more of brother's story about after their lie.
Thanks, Mr. Russian man.
You did it, Narahodo-kun! The scale moved a little!
So it starts with just one person, huh? I'm sure there are still facts we haven't seen yet. If we can just find one of those, the situation will change majorly.
Now then, let the final appeal continue.
Fired a round from the pistol they were carrying.
And that bullet ended up taking out the famous detective Master Holmes.
There's no way you could have missed that.
Bullet.
Number 6?
Ah, pardon. English still is difficult for me.
Don't tell me you really did miss it. Oh my god. How is this guy a juror?
Pardon. Perhaps I missed.
His mouse is cute though. Eh?
Ah, I found. Bullet. Let's see. But guys shoot bullet. Why didn't you say this to me? I am Russian, you see.
Who was it? Who chose this guy as a juror? Me? Y'all want to know this too?
In other words, those two evil-looking brothers told lie. They say they did nothing. They shot someone?
That's right.
Oh, lies are bad, especially from people who look evil.
I'm pretty sure this has nothing to do with looks.
Then perhaps we steal nothing. This may also be a lie. Is this what you are telling me?
Well, according to the Yard's investigation, it seems that nothing was stolen.
I can't trust anyone anymore.
That poor mouse! You've been squeezing that mouse pretty hard.
I must be sure. With my own eyes.
But, unfortunately, that's likely not possible.
Nah, I think we can, and quite simply.
Huh?
With Holmesy's automatic crime recording apparatus.
Oh.
If we compare the photo with Genie in it and the next photo that comes after that, we'd know right away whether something was stolen or not. Isn't that right, Mr. Prosecutor?
Dear Lord. Calling out to the prosecutor in the midst of a final appeal. The moment that the defendant broke into the shop and began menacing the shopkeeper is shown in this photo. After this, the defendant and the victim moved to the storeroom. Then the Templar brothers broke in and heard the single gunshot. Unfortunately, that moment doesn't seem to have been captured on film, but this is the photo that was taken after they made their escape.
This was after Holmesy was shot, wasn't it? As far as I can see,